If you're excited for the first month of 2025 to arrive just like me, then it's time to start planning our bullet journal for it. And in this video, I'm going to be planning my month of January in my new bullet journal. If you're new here, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Kat, and on this channel I create bullet journal content as well as some stationery and art content, and I post studio vlogs of the behind the scenes of running a stationery shop from my bedroom in Portugal. So if that type of content is what you're looking for, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here as a viewer and supporter. In case you missed my 2025 bullet journal setup, I'm going to link it here in the cards and in the description below, where I basically show you all the collections that I'm doing for next year in my bullet journal. Now I'm going to be planning for January, and if you like more type of content, make sure you check out my Ko-Fi memberships in the description box. Let's start with the cover page and the whole theme for this month. So for me, January is blue. I like using blue for January because I think it matches perfectly with the type of month that it is. Blue is a really fresh color and it's actually my favorite color, so I like to use it for January to symbolize the freshness of a new beginning. So this time I'm actually doing some blue flowers all over my pages. For this theme and for the doodles that I'm doing, I'm using 3 different shades of blue of the Crayola Super Tip markers and an extra green one for the leaves of the flowers. One of my creative goals that I have for 2025 is to doodle more in my bullet journal and create sticker sheets on my shop from those doodles. So I wanted to start January with a doodle themed, and I decided to do blue flowers because, first of all, blue, I love that color, and I also love to draw flowers. I think you can be really random and really creative with how you create flowers, so that's what I decided to do. And I decided to also add some leaves to the flowers, and I think it adds a little bit of pop of extra color to the whole theme. So I finished the cover page by doing a lot of flowers, and in the middle I just wrote January with a blue Pentel Foot Attach pen. Those are my favorite small calligraphy pens, so I can do titles like this. And to add a little bit more of structure to it, I added a drop shadow with a very fine Pentel point liner. Next to the cover page on the left, I'm going to have my quote of the month, and I plan to do this for every month of 2025. And for this month, the quote that I chose is "Mindset is everything," because I am now transitioning this week from having a job to not having a job and following my dreams of being a content creator full-time and an artist. And I feel like I have been stressing about it a little bit because, of course, change is scary, but I, at the same time, am scared and hopeful. So I think that having a positive mindset and a clear mindset of what I want and of my goals and be focused is the way to go. And if you didn't watch my 2025 bullet journal setup, I basically set up a bunch of pages for mindfulness and to manifest my dream life. And so I want to fill my month of January and now December with a lot of inspirational quotes and quotes that really make sense to me, that can help me achieve my dreams. So I chose this quote for January, and if you like inspirational quotes and other types of quotes, I have several sticker sheets on my shop. I really like how this theme turned out so far. I really like the brightness of all the colors and the minimal aesthetic of it. This is my favorite type of theme because I have a lot of things going on, but everything fits together, and I really like that in my bullet journal themes. Next up, I'm going to have my main pages of the month, and these are pages that I do every month that keep me organized. So for these 2 pages, I decided to have a mini calendar on the left side, and this is just for me to look at the month and kind of plan in my head where things are going to be and what's going to happen. And I plan to highlight the day in blue if something is happening on that day. Then on the right side, but still on the left page, I'm going to have a section for like the month at a glance type of thing, and I actually messed up the coloring. I was supposed to color just the weekends with blue, but I decided to do every other line, and that was really confusing. So I grabbed some paper from my old bullet journal and I stick it on my new bullet journal to cover up my mistake, and I did the month at a glance section, and I highlighted just the weekends with the blue zebra matte liner. And this section is just for me to write the events and things that are happening throughout that month, or any due dates that I have for content creation. I still don't know how I'm going to use this section yet, but it's mainly for tracking things that are going to happen. And on that same page, I decided to have a little section for February, because sometimes I'm planning things on the month that we are in and I already have ideas or things that I want to do next month and I don't have any space for them. So I decided to add a little section for the upcoming month. So anything that comes to mind to do or to take care of in February, I can write in this little section. So now the section that is missing on these main pages is a to-do list section, and I personally like to have a to-do list for the month, another one for the week, and then my daily tasks. So I normally do a to-do list for the month in my initial pages because that's just how I like to be organized. And I don't divide my to-do list into different sections. I just have a random master to-do list for each month, and I try to make it somewhat big because depending on the month that I'm having, I'm going to have a lot of tasks or not so many tasks. So I try to have a decent sized to-do list section for my to-do lists for the month. Any task that doesn't get done in a previous month is migrated into the next month. So in December, at the end of December, I'm going to look at all my tasks and I'm going to migrate anything that is not done to January into this task section. I also don't prioritize which tasks are going to happen first here. I just throw them all in here and then I prioritize them myself into my weekly to-do list. But this is just a random to-do list. But because I sometimes need a space to write just my ideas, and I normally do that in a brain dump page, but sometimes I just don't want to waste a full page with a space for ideas, I'm going to create a little section for notes. And these notes are to basically write things that are just basically notes. If a spread didn't work, an idea for a monthly theme, an idea for a video, anything that comes into my mind during January, I'm going to write in here in this notes section. Basically, this is like a 2-page spread to organize my life in different ways in sections. And I kept these pages pretty simple, I think, because they are going to be filled with information as the month goes by. So I try to not overclutter the pages, so I added just a few flowers at the bottom and top, but without cluttering the space too much. And yeah, I moved on into my trackers. For my trackers for January, I decided to try something different. So at the top, I'm going to have my habit tracker, and I added 4 different mini trackers. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to track in these, but I have the next 2 weeks to figure out, because I don't know how my life is going to look like in January. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in January and what habits I want to focus on, but I want to focus my attention on getting fitter, and so going to the gym is going to be a priority for me. So one of these habits is going to be for the gym for sure. Another one, it's probably going to be about research for content creation, so watching videos, doing statistics analysis, something like that for my shop and channel. I want to have a tracker for that, but I don't know if I'm going to have another tracker in Notion for that. Still have to think about that. And so I decided to not label any of these trackers and just leave them blank. And as soon as December is over, I will fill it in with the habits that I think are going to work out for me in January. And at the bottom, I'm going to have a sleep and mood tracker. And I cannot tell you the last time that I had this type of tracker in my bullet journal. And I think it was 2022. I believe. And I'm going to have a sleep and mood tracker here because I also want to track my sleeping hours. Since I'm not going to have a job, I can sleep a bit less and see how that affects my mood. And in my mood, I also want to track my energy levels and how much I work, because again, I'm not going to have a schedule in my days, so I have to balance my relaxation time with my working hours, and I created this tracker for that. I don't know if it's going to help me or not, but I'm going to try it in January and add some adjustments for February if necessary. So on this tracker, I'm going to have the days of the month at the bottom, and for each day I'm going to have a column until the hours of sleep that I had, from 0 to 10 hours of sleep. And I'm going to have a line graph on this tracker for my mood and my working hours. At least that's what I plan to do. You can follow my Instagram at catsplanner, where I'm going to post all of these photos blank and at the end of the month all filled in. Those are all my pages for January. I didn't do a weekly spread because I don't know what layout is going to suit my life for January, so I'm going to do that weekly spread once January starts. And for the rest of the time for December, I'm just going to have a master to-do list for everything that I need to do until the end of the year. So thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a flower emoji if you watched it until this point. I hope you enjoyed my January setup. Don't forget to stay tuned for the real-time one where you can do all of these pages with me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!